It is the grand final replay for Friday night football, Ross. I cannot wait for this one. Two heavyweights going at it. Geelong have been so close, Ross, in prelim of 2 years ago and also the grand final of last year. Let's take a look at where they had Richmond on the ropes at half-time in both games.
Well, it's amazing. So everyone's talking about the Cats. Their game plan stands up. So at half-time, 15 shots to 9. They've got to take a bit more of their opportunity, and that game's over the prelim. And then half-time last year, they're well in front and in full control, even with both teams a little bit of injury carnage. So they come in at half-time and they're looking a premiership cup in their hand.
Yeah, if it wasn't for Richmond, they'd probably win 2 premierships in a row. But how do they turn the tide, Ross?
Yeah, well, this is what Richmond do. Really simply, for our viewers, they slow them down. So Geelong's ability to move the ball at speed and catch out the Richmond defence, they slow them down. They half their play-on percentage, right? Yep. So we go down to uncontested marks, and we know Geelong like to control and get the space. They take their uncontested marks off them, which forces them to a contest, longer kicks. They win the contest. So that's Geelong plus 9. That's a swing of 18. Slow them down, force them to the contest, win the contest, and then Richmond go with their surge footy. They swing the turnover difference around. Geelong plus 2 to minus 54. Slow them down, force them to the contest, win the contest, and go then sieve them.
One of those stats, Ross, you speak of is uncontested marks, and Tom Stewart, such an important player for Geelong, like he was in the first half of last year.
Yeah, I remember watching this, and you just see here, he finds either they free him up and he becomes a spare defender, or he sags off his opponent so well to get across, and that's Shea Bolton. He gets across, outnumbers, he cuts it off and sets them up. After half-time, Richmond would have spoke, you've got to make him accountable, lengthen the field, take his intercept marks away. He took 6 in the first half, he took 3 in the second. So I felt they took care of Stewart, and he was a key to the Geelong game. So they made him defend better.
Where Richmond are unbelievable is they force teams to fumble and panic, and they did that in the second half of the grand final, and we'll talk about what they did to the Western Bulldogs in Friday night footy last week. But this was the panic that set in, Ross, after half-time. They looked in total control, but the game turned this way.
Yeah, and there's Blixab picking the ball up and lifting it. They just take your space off you and strip you, and then they're going back because your defence is disrupted and they kick easy goals, easy goals. And they did it, and we spoke about last week, opportunity or threat. Opportunity for the Bulldogs or the Richmond pressure threat, or reverse it. Threat to Richmond, the play on the handball. They bought the heat.
Ross, I want to highlight this one. Bailey Smith, we haven't seen them hack the ball forward like that much, but that's what they forced them into.
Yeah, and I think it's the challenge of the Bulldogs going forward. Elite press teams live off quick play and handball play. So, but they've got to be at their best. If they're not at the best, the Bulldogs will get them like the first quarter. But Richmond lifted. High possession football can't maintain it and not turn it over. That's why Geelong take the uncontested marks and Hawthorn at their peak to keep the pressure off you.
One of the great recruits over the last 4 or 5 years has been Toby Nankervis, and he was brutal. He was another player that was brutal. Lee Matthews calls him the tractor. He just plows along.
Oh, he's workman. He's like the diesel engine. Yeah. People talk about favourite. I love watching him. He knees in, throws himself, competes, takes marks in that final. He took the marks. He's an incredible recruit for that club. He's just an animal.
Yeah, he is. And why we bring him up, Ross, is because the ruckman he's going to be coming up against is Reece Stanley. If he gets picked again, because he was beaten, Tom Hickey on this game, 20 disposals, 10 clearances. Chris Scott didn't play Reece in the last quarter.
Well, physically monstered. And Reece can really play. But Reece is a confidence player, so they're going to have to work hard to get him back up. But Hickey's coming off a posterior injury in a knee, and he's beating him for follow-up and agility. So it forces Blixarves into the ruck. They lose him out of the back line, and in there they get beaten. So it's not going to be easy this week. He's going to have to steel himself.
So you'd go with him again?
I'm not sure what they're on. Radicale, is he ready? You don't want to put Blixarves in the ruck. But you know what? Reece is going to have to steel himself for a combative physical battle, but he can do it. But you know what? Start preparing now, son.
I'm struggling to get a read on the Cats, Ross, so let's take a look at their season. So it's been up and down. Obviously, they lost in round 1. They scrounged wins in 2 and 3. They lose to Melbourne, who's in form. Did what they should against North, unbelievable v the Eagles, and then drop a game to Sydney. So where do you see
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. I like the slower build. They were up and going early last year. It's a bit like Richmond. I think build to your best footy. They demolished West Coast. Their numbers against Sydney, they should have got it done. They were quite. You can lose and go forward. I thought they lost and went forward. They tidied up the ruck, tidied up a few things, contested ball entries, kick a bit straighter, more shots. I wouldn't be sweating that loss. I think Chris would roll up. We're ready to go this week.
Great challenge against the Tigers on Friday night.